Hi, okay, now it is time to talk about selection tools in Adobe Illustrator. If you will notice on our toolbar here, the top 4 tools are going to be the selection tools that we will use in Illustrator. I probably use the top tools a majority of the time. Between these two selection tools and the pen tool, that takes up so much of my time in Illustrator. So you really want to master the direct selection tool, which is commonly called the black arrow, as well as the selection tools, pardon me, a selection tool is called the black arrow. The direct selection tool, also called the white arrow, and the pen tool. Once you know those 3, you are ready to go. So right now I'm going to talk about the selection tools. You'll also notice there's a magic wand. This is also really handy if you just need to select a color. So if you're working in a print, maybe there's an all-over floral print you're working on and you want to change all the petals from pink to purple, instead of selecting each petal individually, you can just use a magic wand and it'll select anything that's purple. So that's pretty handy. We'll use it more later. We also just have a lasso tool. You can just click and drag with your mouse and whatever is inside your lasso will be selected. It can be handy. I don't use it a ton, but the black and white arrow we use a lot. I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to hit Command negative to kind of zoom out. You can also hit Command 0 to zoom. And okay, now I'm zooming back in. So again, the black arrow will select an object. In this case, it's a grouped object, so it's selecting multiple objects that are grouped together. You'll notice that the anchor points are all blue, so it will move everything that is selected. Our white arrow is a little bit different. It can act like the black arrow, but don't be fooled by it because it does more than that. If I were to select the middle of this object, you'll notice my anchor points are blue, so it will move the object just like the black arrow did. But the white arrow can do more. If you select your object on a path line, then it will select just that segment. See how I can make it taller? If you select it on an anchor point, you'll notice this anchor point is blue and the other ones are white, then just that blue anchor point can be moved to change the shape as well. So the white arrow is very handy when we just need to move anchor points, which we need to do a lot actually. And then the black arrow is handy if you need to move the entire object. Okay. Also, it's handy with the white selection tool is that you can change the shape of the curves. Now, a lot of beginners will accidentally click and drag the path line. Don't do it. It's too crazy. I'm going to hit Command Z. Instead, you want to get in the habit of using this handlebar. You don't want to click and drag the path, and you don't want to click and drag the bar. You want to click and drag the teeny tiny little handle. It's so cute. Get it? It's very picky. You have to get the handle in order to control it. You'll notice the middle shape of the curve follows the handlebar. Do you see where it curves in the most? It's where the little handlebar is. So if I go down, you'll see the shape, the deepest part of the curve follows the handlebar. You can make the handlebar short or big or long. You kind of just have to play with the handlebar to continue to understand what it does. But to control it, click the little circle, okay? Let's see here. So those are our selection tools. I'll go ahead and demo the magic wand as well. Maybe I'll draw a few more circles. Okay, let's say I had this crazy polka dot print. And just some of them are blue. Now, maybe I don't like this color combination. So instead of selecting each one individually, that would take a long time in order to change the color. So it is handy to have the magic wand tool, by the way, keyboard shortcut, the letter Y. And then I can just select it and anything that's pink is selected. So now I can change it to whatever color I would like. By the way, I did use the white arrow to select the circle. You'll notice when I go select the other one, the first one will become unselected. The white arrow can only select one object at a time unless you hold down the Shift key. The Shift key will allow you to select more than one object at the same time. Another way to select more than one object at the same time with the white arrow, you can click and drag. And anything in the little arbitrary square rectangle that we have will be selected. So that technique's not going to work if I only want to get these 3 boxes, because you'll see I also selected this tank top and these lime ones. But if I select that green circle and hold Shift, then I can also select the other green circles. Or I can hit the magic wand because they all have the same fill. There are options with the magic wand. If you double click it, a handy little toolbar pops out, and it defaults to select the fill color, and it gives you a tolerance of 20%. So that means any other shade of green that's 20% similar will also be selected. It's good and bad. I think in Illustrator for fashion design, that's actually not really handy. So let me still give you an example. Let's see if this is close enough. So if I hit, right now, these are 2 different colors, these 2 greens. If I select it, you'll see my fill color has a question mark because more than one object with different fill colors are selected, because right now the default's at 20%. I don't really like that. I prefer to have the tolerance at 0. So now you can see the only thing selected is this shade of green that I just made up. If I select the other ones, the other 3 are selected, and you can see the fill color here. So I always recommend changing your tolerance to 0, because in print design we're pretty picky about our colors because we usually have a limitation of how many colors we can use. So it's nice to have them separate. If you just want to select objects that have the same stroke and fill, then you can again select both and change your tolerance. Maybe you care about the stroke weight. You want to select everything that's a 1-point weight, or opacity, or there's all kinds of options here, but we mostly use it for fill color. Alrighty, well that's our little talk about our selection tools.